But with every great idea, it starts with a small idea. And this small idea began in Nazi Germany. In World War II, Nazi Germany had begun creating the V-2 German rocket. This rocket was an early concept of an intercontinental ballistic missile, capable of striking targets deep within the United Kingdom and destroying entire city blocks. However, World War II came to a close, and the American and the Soviets had captured Nazi scientists who were working on the V-2 project. Now, these scientists, for the Russians, would later produce Sputnik 1, the first ever satellite that was man-made to orbit Earth. Yuri Gagarin was the first person into space after the launch of Sputnik 1. Now, to combat this, the Americans had created the American Explorer 1 satellite, which launched into space after the Russian satellite had launched, and the space race had begun. Yuri Gagarin was the first person into space aboard a capsule sent up by the Russians, and he orbited the Earth twice. United States President John F. Kennedy had said that we need to go to the moon because it would be a challenge and because we believed we could beat the Russians for the first time in the entire history of space race. Now, the Apollo program had its challenges. The Apollo 1 capsule burned up on the launch pad, killing all 3 of its crew members. Due to the extreme oxygen atmosphere, the fire had completely killed them and they had no choice of escape. However, these flaws were fixed, and later we had sent Apollo around the moon and landed on the moon, beating the Russians. This marked the end of the space race, the beginning of the International Space Station era. The International Space Station was a collaborative effort between Russia, the United States, and several other spacefaring nations. The International Space Station is roughly the size of 2 football fields. It has had capsules added to it over the course of history. However, the space station is being combated by China and their own space ambitions. Currently, China has extreme ambitions to conquer and become a major space power. China has begun developing space stations that orbit the Earth to test biological and chemical research in microgravity. These space stations have roughly 20% of China's budget dedicated to just space exploration. China also has major ambitions in asteroid mining. An asteroid that had recently passed Earth had been analyzed by scientists and costed roughly $4 trillion in mineral resources. Now, with China's ambitions, it is extremely interesting with the political situation going on. The Obama administration has failed to address China's militaristic views on space exploration and their disregard for UN sanctions on weapons of mass destruction in space for their further plans. They have also failed to recognize China's further goals beyond the moon and to conquer the moon and claim it as their own, which is illegal against UN sanctions that no person or nation should be able to claim land on another planet. So with all of this happening, it's extremely concerning with China having all these space ambitions and roughly 20% of their national budget, and the Obama administration slashing NASA's budget constantly and lowering their current budget. And here, if you would like to learn more information about any of the politics going on in space exploration, the current history or the previous history of space exploration, we have additional resources here on the NASA's website and these links which you can go to and you can view for yourself and see all this information.